how do you introduce Shaina?
I know, well.
You don't.
I almost done in just like 30 more seconds.
Maybe you could explain like the direction you're going with this?
So yeah, I'm trying to make sure that they equal out, so none of the higher frequency stones out-trump the ones that are grounding, so that you feel equal. Different crystals like Remka and Aina, they just want to push it down. So when you're outside, it gets too much of a push when you're trying to involve other higher
What
frequency
stones?
stones.
The tourmaline?
Yeah,
And
the
which one?
tourmaline and the moonstone here.
Yeah.
They're really wavy. So like when you're, like a lot of people like do crystal grids outside, but sometimes it can make the energy like this.
Yeah. I've seen people use
Instead
like
of
white
this.
blankets a lot when they do crystal gridding outside, I guess like for energy reflection.
That actually helps though, because it bounces the energy away instead
Right.
of all the extraction happening to the ground. It allows the crystals to use a blank template because white is already reflecting all the energy bandwidths. So that's way better and way safer when you're building a crystal grid. I think this is all good.
So is the idea to have like a stabilizing energy?
I feel like when you're with a lot of people, it's always a good kind of safe template to use. When you're trying to do a specific kind of purpose of a meditation, such as like I want to go more into my clairvoyance and my intuition, then you would not stabilize the grid and you would want some of the more higher frequency stones to play a larger role. So you might put those in the center and then put some of the darker tone stones like the tourmaline and the moonstone and even the blue stones out so that
like
it
a
pulls the
pillar
energy
almost,
down.
yeah.
Yeah, so it like almost apexes it. Because all the higher frequency stones are going to go like this. And the lower ones are going to anchor you down. So I see that all the time when people are making grids. Sometimes they make too contrasting of grids. So sometimes it's trying to pull the energy down so harshly and also try to pull the energy up so harshly that the meditation becomes fuzzy and people can't focus. So I pile them. So yeah, since it's a whole bunch of us and we all have different intentions and we don't know where the meditation's gonna go, I'm just gonna equalize it. I think that's good. Just a little bit. Nanikam. A bit much. I didn't understand the difference of, when you're talking about being an empath, to what degree are you feeling your own energy and to what degree do you know when you're picking up somebody else's? And I feel like in certain circumstances, like it can be very obvious, but then sometimes it's really not. It's super subtle. Mania Klein. And so in the Banner Room group, we started talking about how like the mind is considered to be an energy detection system, not just it's not just designed to pick up the own body's neural sensory impulses. It's made to like detect what you're doing. Like I can see you and I can feel you and I can hear you, And I feel like that says that the biology of the system is made to made to feel your electricity. And I think empath extends to that idea that, if my brain is naturally to detect outside energy, that I can tap into that even deeper than I'm told that I can. And I think empathy, is just a natural extension to that. And I think it will be the next evolution, to human interaction is I can feel you, I am you, I can feel your electricity, I can detect it. And I honestly think it to a lot of people is just admitting to yourself that you can do it. I meet a lot of people that I believe are super empathic that have no idea that they are. And I feel like in movies and cinema they show like this almost not necessarily synthetic idea that it blasts you. The information is just like you wake up and huge. Like if you're an empath or a clairvoyant, it just like smacks you in the face and you get the into like super blast.
It's almost like romanticized.
Yes.
Like, you know, I had this conversation with my mother the other day. We were talking about meditation, and I think I told you this story where we were talking about meditation, and they think their messages are going to be like God showing up and saying,
Yes.
this is your mission, child. And it's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You know, and I was talking to my mom about her own meditation experience, and I said, and she says, well, I just go to my happy place. And I'm like, bingo, like, you got it. And she's like, what? But I don't get messages. And I'm like, are you happy? You're raising your vibration. Congratulations, you're meditating.
It's a subtle, like, biological mechanisms that are really, like, telling you huge amounts of information. So it's, like, subtle things like rim eye movement or, like, different brusques, like, sudden thoughts that are popping up into your head are the clairvoyance. It's like whispers. It's not always like super loud bangs. And, you know, giving yourself that credit, you can take something where, you know, shed the movie idea of what an empath is, and you realize you're already empathic. Your biology is naturally set up to feel people, you know, in the inside of their body and their electricity. And then you become, you know, intuitive overnight. You know, there really is nothing to step into. It's organically built into the body. Like, we don't go to school and they don't really teach us too in depth about our anatomy. You know, they don't teach us what it could potentially do. They don't teach us about energy spectrums and that we can dive into them. You know, like, that's stuff we have to learn on our own ventures. You know, and I feel like if it was introduced really early on, like when you are a kid age and you already know that you have a lot of power, you know, I think the world would be so different.
I do too. I think that was
100%.
my struggle. We talked about this in the car the other day. Like,
Someone would say something and I'm like, I already knew that. Why did I? And then not taking it naturally, as like there was no natural about feeling that I already knew that. I couldn't sit with it, or walking by and feeling like we'd, you know, walking into a room and like good or bad, and go and looking around going, did you feel that? No. Like, why did I feel that? Why, you know, and instead of learning about it, I questioned it, you know, or these little, I don't know if I call them surges. That's the thing. I don't have words for everything I feel. In contrast to what you learn, in contrast to how you're indoctrinated, in contrast to what is acceptable, some of those emotions, feelings, energies, surges are really hard to understand. And it's like you can open a textbook if there's something you want to learn more about and understand it, you know? And when you feel these things sometimes, there's no textbook. There's no textbook, you know? And I know what I feel, and I don't have a way to explain it because I don't understand it myself.
I think that's the most important lesson that I want to impart on my children and on children of the world and on everybody else. It's like, you think you're weird? Oh my God, there's so many of us that are weird.
Okay, alio karaino. Yeah, so what I do want to focus on is picking up a crystal's energy, because it is a really important practice. I feel like when you're first kicking off with spirituality and you realize that there's a whole slew of tools for you to use, and going to a crystal shop and they always tell you to select it intuitively and really feel it out. And I remember the first time that I went to a crystal shop, I was lost. I spent 4 hours and I was trying to wave my hands over, but I wasn't even really feeling anything. And I ended up selecting like this little amethyst pendant just because that's one of the more popular ones. It's like, I'm probably safe with this. But I thought it was maybe the first perfect thing to focus on, because how do you feel a crystal's energy and where are you feeling a crystal's energy? So the whole concept of this is actually bending a word that is very popular and very well used, which is the word weight. And by reprogramming how you kind of relate to the word weight, you can actually feel a crystal's energy. So we're going to use different size crystals here so that you can get different examples of weight in your hand. And I want you to really focus on your neurological pickup beneath your hand, beneath the skin. And so we're just going to go in a practice here of really how to feel a crystal's energy. So go ahead and pick up whichever crystal you feel really attuned to right now. Whichever one you want to begin with. There's no really wrong choice. Okay, and a great way they talk about programming a crystal stone to your body, right, to your energy. And a good way to do that is to actually just kind of rub it between your hands in any way facet. This is a circle, so it makes it really easy for me. right? And this syncs the right hemisphere of your body and the left hemisphere of your body, which are program and organize energy completely two separate ways. And really just kind of syncs it to the stone and syncs the stone to yourself. Okay? I'm going to try a really easy practice. And you kind of want to do this forever. It feels right, I'm going to try, but a good 30 seconds is good enough. So what you want to do is kind of just like almost give yourself a chance to feel the weight of the stone on different levels and let it kind of sink into the palm of your hand, okay? And you're feeling that word weight, you know, you feel the weight of the stone. But often I think we feel weight as a heaviness, right? But weight is actually a magnetational pull to the ground, okay? So as you're feeling the crystal's weight fluctuate as you bend it in your hand, you're actually going to feel it pulled to earth. That's what you're feeling. It's not weight, you're feeling the magnetics being pulled through your hand. Okay? Your neurons are picking up the magnetics. Okay? Weight is an imaginary word, just a global word that they teach you that makes you funnel a lot of different concepts and a lot of different magnetics in your head and groups it into one concept. But in being an empath and feeling energy, you have to start breaking down what are magnetics feeling on my body, because that's how you feel energy strands. So you start with a really big concept, weight. Weight, that's it being pulled to earth right now. You can almost feel the difference as you lift your hand up, how the weight changes, right? But now think of it as the magnetics are changing. As you bring it closer to earth, you feel it kind of billow down. You feel earth try to tug it through your hand. That's what you're feeling, not the weight. Earth is pulling it. It wants it back to its magnet place. So now, when you're feeling this, and I want you to kind of focus on where do you feel weight? You know, because we just kind of like think, oh yeah, it's heavy, you know, and like our body's telling us that, right? And then we group it in that one word really fast. But in actually feeling a magdokaipa or a crystal's energy, you really want to focus on kind of where am I actually getting the neural indication of weight? Where am I picking that up? Where do you actually feel the weight in your hand? Because you're not going to feel it outside of your hand. You're going to feel it in your skin. So I want you to focus right beneath your skin. Where are your neurons actually telling you that it's heavy? Where do you actually feel the heaviness? You know, and somewhere it might feel right where the directly the stone is, and you actually might notice that you even feel some weight right around the stone where the stone is not in contact with. And again, kind of give yourself a chance to be able to feel it. And I think we should probably switch to a heavier stone now so you can really feel the weight. Switch hands now. And actually, I want you to feel the hand that you just had the stone in, and you kind of feel still that it has a genuine buzzing in there. You might still be able to feel the weight, right? That's because weight is an imaginary word. The item's not in your hand anymore, but you can feel the magnetics still rebalancing themselves with trying to sink that crystal to your hand. You know, as it's trying to really actually rip the crystal back through your hand to earth, there's a lot that happens, and your neurons are telling you, hey, there's something like here that is different than your body, and your neurons give that information to you, which is why you can detect weight. You can essentially detect magnetics. In the biology of the body, it's already built that you can feel energy strands. So this is a really big deal, you know, and it's already built in you. So it's not something you have to arise to, you know, as being a crystal healer or being able to feel crystal's energy. It's not even something that you have to practice. You can go in deeper and really discover it and find layers, but your body already knows how to feel it. A big part of being an empath or really diving into energy fields is not so much about expanding your ability to be able to feel energy. It's more so just relabeling things that they prematurely taught you about how to organize how you feel. You know, your energy and your emotions, you know, I always say like your emotions are just energy and motion. You know, we have a connotation with the word emotions, so that leaves us to classifying those in really brute words such as anger, sadness, stress, you know, but that's really us just describing electric fields. You know, so if you break apart those words that they taught you, you realize, oh, I'm empathic. I can feel energy fields. It's not that your bio is trying to harm you anyway, make you feel heavy, make you feel sad. Those are words that you were taught. That's just condensed or sporadic electricity. And if you can start to use it as energy fields and intel, you realize you're already on the spiritual journey, you know, because you can follow those really deep, you know. So also in crystal healing on a really, you know, tinier way, you're feeling magnetics, you're feeling also emotions, you know, it's just energy and motion. So that's the same thing that we're going to do here. We're essentially going to feel not necessarily the emotion of the stone, but yeah,
Energy and motion. Emotion.
emotion.
I love that. Like, seriously, that's amazing.
Yes, okay, that made it make so much more sense to me. We broke down the word and we actually put the E in parentheses. I love crystal healing because it allows you to kind of play around with almost like an emotion outside of your body. You know, this represents a different type of energy field. And when you hold it, you know, as you're starting to really pick up your own neurons, you can feel how by interacting with different energy fields, as your neurons are picking it up and getting that information to your brain, it actually changes your emotions, because it's all emotions are is just energy travel. So as you pick up something else and your neurons travel energy, you can feel that as an emotion. And I'm pretty sure that's what empaths do. They just feel smaller waves of energy and smaller wisps of energy as emotion, or as energy in motion, and they pick it up as such, you know, and they use it, small things, they use it, small coincidences, they use it, small flashes of thoughts, they use it. That's all clairvoyance is. It's not this big like smack in the face and opening and like, it's, sometimes people have those experiences, but I would say most everybody is on some wavelength empathic, because their neurons can pick up external energy, and we're doing that all the time through our senses. So it's about, you know, if my eyes can see you, feel you, I can feel your body, I can see what you're doing, then my body is biologically programmed to be able to, you know the inside electricity of you as well as myself, you know, and that's all being an empath is, you know. So it's really just break apart those words. You're already really powerful. Your body's already giving you all the information that you need. It might take a while to learn how to listen to that because of the words that you were taught to organize them. But once you reframe those, you're opening yourself to a world where you really respect everything that happens inside of your body. And that just unlocks everything. It unlocks everything. It feels good. It feels good.
I think like a really great thing I noticed is I live in my head so much, and that moment where you had me focusing so much on the weight and the pull, I forgot to think about anything else. And that was like really
Miraculous.
she knows me.
That was nothing short of a miracle.
Nothing short of a miracle, and whoosh, that feels really wonderful.
You know, to be honest, I find that a lot of people that are very empathic and do pick up energy fields, whether they know that they're energetically aware or not, are often people that are very sporadic in their head and often get compounds of thoughts, and they can be, because again, like, you know, talking about the brain being an energy detection system and not just picking up your own stuff, if it's picking outside stuff, a lot of empaths just have like random thoughts into their head, and they're almost viewing their head as an observational tool. And it's just like it's consistently happening, you know, and they don't even think about the fact that they're doing it. It's like, oh, I'm in my head and I'm watching it, you know. And I think it's really magical that humans can even watch their own inside of their head, you know, and I think there's something like beautiful data there when it comes to being an empath and being someone who's energetically sensitive, and also being clairvoyant. It's just some of those like wisps in the head and how they go sporadic. But I think it's funny that as focusing on a spiritual object with energy fields, you know, that would shut down and silence and focus, because you're really telling your vehicle how you want to use it, you know, and what kind of energy it wants to pick up, instead of it being on default and just picking up a whole bunch of strands. And then thoughts, I think, label it prematurely and send and fly those thoughts into your head. Oh my goodness.
How are you feeling?
Really good. This was
It's
really
so good. We could literally hang out for 24 hours. I don't think we would notice that 24 hours is bad.